right, Tiff, here we go. New map, new zone, everybody dropping in. Life of the tournament on the line. Potentially your life in World Series of Warzone on the line. You know, another team I want to know where we're going. Oh, look at this zone. We're finally headed towards Manor, potentially, or the south side of Farms. But, Tiff, you know another team I'm looking at? Where's Nobu Spartan? 25th place for Nobu Spartan and Blink CJ. This is, again, one of those long-standing duos that have been together since Verdansk in 2020. They were competing together. Now with Sammy, I don't know about this team. 25th, they got to make a move, and they need to make a move now.
Well, you've got Team Toph and Team Finesse in here contesting over at Rostova shops. And this is a really nice starting position. You can find a lot of cash, get a loadout really quick. But we are already throwing the suppression mines on the wall just in case someone decides to fly on in. But it's a very conservative contest, if I do say so myself. Usually you just want to find a weapon and fully send. Some people go straight at it with pistols, but that's just the name of the game when you're finding yourself on that bubble outside of the top 20. And well, back to City, back to one of the oldest contests that we've had today for lower round 2. And this time, Clutch Belk Assault still up and at it, trying to finish out Little Mario.
Yeah, same story, just a hair of a different ending this time around. Oh, Clutch Belk caught reloading, caught sprinting. Clutch Belk just completely threw that fight away. Horrible timing. And what I thought was going to be a free and clear victory for Team Clutch Belk, it looks like the trades will eventually come through. And frankly, we'll come back to that later because T's making a great play here. Unfortunately, getting flanked from the other side. Frankly, why was Clutch Belk challenging that by himself? Play as a team, gentlemen. Just like Sir Taylor is trying to do here. Last alive, couldn't play as a team. Now on the edge, getting pushed out by Team 31. Wow.
To be fair, I loved T's angle originally, but if you're on the roof trying to find that angle onto Toph, the one thing you just have to be weary of is someone that's going to be on that roof from the squad looking at it. Now Sir Taylor trying to hit the schmoofs, put him on skates, dolphin diving, trying to use the wilderness out here in the open for any bit of cover. But it looks like ST is gonna make their way on out. We'll check in with that squad later because Lawlet over here vibing just on the outskirts of Old Town, maybe more towards Sea Town, and he's got 2 squads vying it out just ahead of them. You can probably hear the shots on the screen, and we're going to be looking for some opening eliminations to at least get the score on the board. Call in that UAV, bunker, buster, and pocket. And well, if we're going to take it to the water, of course we'll take some angles.
Yeah, they're so hard to spot. Looks like Lawlet found one. Again, Lawlet, one of our only 2 console players competing today. It's Lawlet, and then it's Reed Boy, and that's it. 2 console players, both dominating. Frankly, both teams have a great chance to make it. Lawlet has had a fantastic run through the different brackets, had to go down and play in the lower rounds, of course, didn't want to be there, but this team is really talented. They are just inside as well of that top 20. This is a team definitely to keep your eyes on. They need another good game. Cronus up above finds another. Free and clear thus far here on Old Town.
Yeah, when you say just inside the top 20, if they're sitting in 17th place, 1.8 points or so, holding them inside that threshold. We know that every elimination matters, and it will come down to 1 point to decide likely the difference between advancing to regional finals or going to that purgatory of last chance qualifier. Now, except Sunny Rudy, this is a team that's going to need to rack up as many eliminations as possible, and sitting on 3 already for accept.
Yeah, I believe, again, this team, another one of those squads just barely inside top 20. We're going to be kind of watching a lot of those teams right on the edge of making it to regional finals or having to go to LCQs, because that's the name of the game. The teams at the top, Devo, OP Mark, Clown even, now potentially Team Tommy, Sitrep, those squads have likely already made regional finals with their point totals on the board. Now, things could shift up slightly, but last couple maps that we've played that we haven't broadcasted, it was 52-point cutoff. We might see somewhere closer to like a 55-point cutoff for the teams that make it. So if you're up into the 60s, you're likely free and clear, but the teams want to have good reps anyways in the last couple maps, so you'll probably still see those teams playing hard. It's just a matter of which teams will make top 20 and which teams will just barely miss out. And here we are, TBE Rudy trying to make a play here against Team 16 on the other side. That's Bling CJ, that's Nobu Spartan. Both these teams, they need this fight and they need this map. Early gunshots go through and connect. Two players with nearly cracked plates. They've got the advantage. They're going to push on it, but completely gets swung on. Misses the push. Bad timing. Summy trying to play cleanup from up above. We lose Rudy, Tiff.
Yeah, we definitely do. Going to be sent to the gulag here, but this is make or break for Team Nobu Spartan, sitting in 27th place, 32.8 points. Bling CJ takes the chow, dumpsters onto Sunny, and hopefully they can survive the gulag. For now, though, we'll check in with some other squads hitting that rotation as we keep on moving towards the eastern side of Urzikstan. E700, Funzy, Tenix, you gotta watch out from above because those angles are horrendous.
Clutchbelt gets the knock from up above. That might have been a C4 and lobbed off the top of the building. At the very least, it was a lethal for sure. As Clutchbelt is able to grab one knock. Since T-Nex packing, Funzy, E700 trying to figure out what the heck to do at this point, playing underneath the bridge for a bit of cover, but still not inside of his zone too. So we're gonna have to rotate here. It looks free for the most part, and I think it's just Clutchbelt by himself, just like being a terror on the outside of zone, because really there's not much else he can do at this point. Finally, his teammates flying back in. Here go Lovey, Clutchbelt, Assault on the hunt.
Yeah, I was curious what kind of angles Funzy's going to be able to take here. It looks like he's going to zip up towards high ground. Now, granted, Assault does have the ultimate height over, so we're going to have to smoke and reposition off Assault, Lovey, Clutchbelt. They've got to have some course of action for planning on this rotate. Let's check in with them.
I'm looking over. I'm sniping over on that.
In the
Underneath. Here. I got sniped.
No.
Fuck. I don't have stuff, but I don't know where to snipe.
He ran.
I got bunker blaster. I got bunker blaster by them.
You can probably mirror left.
I'm just dead. I died, bro. Someone just flew in on me.
That's them.
Yeah. Here's my loot. He's gonna look down here. I need to play in.
Hold on, I can try to help you on the wall. Right under me.
Right below me.
I just saved this good. 20 dead. I got shot in the back, man. I have self. I'm trying to get around the corner. I have self. That's my right now. He's aping. Oh man, I got full kill. He's going off the building. Last good plan.
Oh man. You're good, boys. We're good. Getting thirded.
All right. Well, things went not great, Tiff. I mean, frankly, that was one of the weirder fights. They tried to chow together. They didn't really communicate all that well. Some people knew where people were and some people didn't. There's just not enough there for me. Like, we need way more comms. We need to be hyperactive to communicate where players are at. I just don't see the energy and the passion that I'm used to seeing from a guy like Clutchbelt there. Made a great 1v1 play, but unfortunately, because he was by himself in that final fight, it didn't end up mattering. E700 cleaned it up. And now that team's in a blender yet again.
OT just trying to hit that rotation, and Hickster's squad is going to move straight on in, and finessing Sir Taylor trying to anchor down, hit the full wipe. Now granted, this is the third circle. At the beginning of this, you did just go through that fire sale, so a lot of teams were going to be looking for buy stations to grab UAVs, make sure they've got self-reses, make sure they have everything that is ready for the long haul. Well, this squad on your screen, what they need are eliminations, because when you find yourself on the cusp just outside of 20th place, time is of the essence, and it's map number 5. You only got one more chance after this, so let's make this one a big one.
Yeah, it's the fight for manor, certainly. The map definitely pulling this direction. It looks like Clutchbelt's team able to somehow restabilize yet again, win their gooch, get back onto the map, try to get to zone. They are fighting for every inch that they can get on this map, and they continually cannot catch a break. And Bling CJ really wants this knock and this team wipe. This is going to be a huge team for him to take down because, again, Bling CJ, Nobu Spartan, Sammy, 25th going into this map, whereas Clutchbelt's team's just inside of that top 20 before. Cracks one, looks for the second, not able to get it, continuing to rain bullets down from distance, but they got to grab this LTV, they got to get into the zone.
Still 35 squads up, so we're not even into the multipliers just yet in circle 3. Now, for this squad sitting in 23rd place are 5 points outside of top 20. That's just how close things are going. But for Super Rob, Chronos Christ, Let's see what we can do here. We've made it just towards the south of Bazaar. We're not the only ones because this is Tommy's territory. You can see they're already beginning to be cleaning up Yee Boy and Lawlet, making a push straight onto the C4. Won't connect, but you have to deal with squad number 27 first.
I really like this play to not engage there. Both of those teams are wiped if that happened. Team Tommy would have cleaned it up, no problem. You also see Team 30 right around the corner, and it looks like Team 27, that team is getting out of dodge already. That's Oreo. They said, we don't like this spot. We're sandwiched. We've got to get to the next zone, smoke it out, run through cover. There's enough cover in Bazaar to hop between the different buildings fairly easily with just a single smoke, or maybe you burn two. And like you said before, resupplies, munitions boxes, you're going to have a ton of smokes. So a nice rotate for them to take underneath Joe Gang here. This is actually a decent spot, and they're electing to continue even further. They want this far building. They don't want to have anything to do with a big building like that main central building in Bazaar that Joe Gang's team is on top of. They want this far side that they feel like they can lock down much more effectively. I don't mind the play, and now they're by themselves, not sandwich. A great wrap that they somehow did not get punished for.
All I know is we got Team Tommy going against Team Tommy on the left side of Bazaar for now. And Teeny and Obs are just looking for any kind of opening that we can. But Vexo, Joe Gang, Av on your screen. Now we have to start looking of where we are going to maybe take that push. Do we decide to fight the main of Bazaar and third it? Or do we try to isolate and take out Team 27, which is going to be Oreo season and co? Because if you can clear that out, you know that third party is real. But with that update on where the zone is pulling and everyone from that low town and even farm side of things that's going to be rotating into Bazaar, you have to go ahead and deal with these threats now, whether that's the proximity mines that are going down, just any kind of resource.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Team 40, Taj, this is Reflection's favorite team. They get here, what they think is early is actually incredibly late. 4 or 5 teams already set up in Bazaar, just waiting for every team that rotates in. This open space leading up to Bazaar, especially on the side that Nico Infinite's on, coming up from the river, it's so difficult to get to a real position, especially near Central Bazaar. Every team that tries to make a play thinking they're early enough is going to be dramatically punished and be sent back to the lobby. There's almost no chance of a team making it to Central Bazaar until later into the zone where there's enough teams causing chaos that maybe you smoke your way in. Here's Team 31, Patch trying to do a lot of the same. All teams looking at them, but then this is the other thing I was about to go to. If you over peak to try to extend on some of these rotating in teams, the teams on the other side of Bazaar are just going to shoot you in the back. So it is this kind of cat and mouse game, trying to figure out when to pick up teams in rotation, when to show your shoulder, and when to smoke out cover of the other building so you can take your shots.
Well, we're dealing with all kinds of streaks coming our way for Lovey and Clutch Belt. One has already been picked off. It's Assault from Team OP Mark that's going to be behind them. And Nobu Spartan Squad on the opposing side of the water. C4 into the mix, but we are just not going to be able to strive here because of all the open areas. But I love that Lovey dives back into the water to plate on up, but we still want to smoke and try to hit this reg onto Clutch Belt. But knowing that Team OP Mark, who's in second place, has nothing to lose because they've already pretty much granted themselves a qualification spot in the regional finals, you know that they're there, and we have to really go prone and stay out of their line of sight.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. It's like this riverside. I don't even know where you would go. Like, I think you literally just prone out and play the berm because there's not another team coming out from this backside of ranch. Like, I don't think they're actually in a bad spot. They're in zone. They have a rock of cover, and they can just hang out here for a while if they don't overpeak and get knocked. As long as team, I think that's OP Mark like you were talking about, doesn't decide to come wipe this squad, they can just hang out for a while and try to play placement. There's still 26 teams left here, Tiff, and that was actually Rumble Squad is what I'm talking about there with Team 14 on the far side.
Nobu Spartan Squad just takes out Team Exact. Now, Nobu Spartan and co, they were sitting outside the top 20 in 23rd place, and that benchmark that they need to overcome keeps stretching. But when you're about to get into the 1.4x multiplier and Gulag is closed, every placement matters here. And for Little Mario and Clown, last alive for this squad. just trying to play any angle and outkeep Johnny Bro and Strixie to the left. They know this is going to be one of their biggest threats, but you have the remnants of Team Tommy just on the opposing side of the building. And, well, honestly, I'm PDSing. I'm trying to stay over here, but I don't see gas masks. Only little Mario has this self. This is not going to be good for them.
Yeah, it seems like this team that's been contesting Clutch Belk from the very beginning, both teams kind of came out of that initial gunfight a bit wobbly. They had to try to restabilize, couldn't quite get all the resources they wanted, and now both teams are missing a player, likely because of that. They just couldn't get their feet from underneath him. And Ted, you called it out perfectly. I like the play here to PDS. You can just hang out for a little while, let the other teams fight. You might have a bit more of an open pathway forward after you wait out with the PDS. I think at this point, it's fifth circle. You're still gonna have a good 15, 16 seconds with that PDS out in the gas. If you don't have the gas mask though, you need to start rotating pretty quickly to make sure you make it in time before the next zone begins to move. But here we go. Back with your team. This is Omit T. She is unfortunately down, but Sir Taylor, Finessing, both still alive, and they know what they can do. Here's the play. One moving in, Finessing with the crack. Pushes forward, and it was, by the way, Sir Taylor pushing back into the gas and gets the buy on T before that buy station closes. So they now have all three up, and T can kind of play that micro UAV play where you float in the air for a little bit, try to grab live pings, and then try to fall on some loot to help out her team. But unfortunately, Finessing over peaks, gets punished for it. Back down to 2 they go.
All right. ST on your screen, C4 out. We're not gonna actually hit. We whiff hard, and T last alive actually elects to rotate the outer way. Now there's a couple things that went wrong with the initial push, and I'm not even sure if we're gonna be able to withstand here. This is a squad that was outside the top 20 coming into map number 5. Now, if we can get to this shack ahead of the way and really just cover all the bases. Okay, we should be all right for now. Now, granted, our cover is blown. Everyone knows where we are. We don't have any plates, and we just need to stay out of line of sight from Extra Pairs Car 98. The rotate that they just made with Finessing and Sir Taylor taking those shots onto B-Mark and crew gave away their position and really led to their demise. So hopefully T can make it into at least the top 10, because Extra Pairs, Alexander, Finesse have found themselves so far on the outside of this zone between what the threshold is and being out of bounds, and we are just using these hills for cover.
This is a massive fight for this 4th, 5th map now. Moving into our 5th map, we're in the final 2 maps. You've got to make a move, and a lot of these teams are in contention to barely make regional finals. They've got to make a move now. You've got Team 33, Team 17 battling for position, and it is OP Mark's squad that yet again, best position, kills to boot. A team that's already made it is spoiling everybody else's chances. If you're a team at the top, you see a good team that hasn't made it yet, I'm playing spoiler. I am landing on them. I'm killing them. I'm pushing fights. You don't have to play slow here, Tiff. You can play aggressive. You sure care about winning, but you've already made regional finals. Go play spoiler. If this team sees Clutch Belk and they get a knock, if I'm this squad, I am no holds barred, full sending them, spoiling my map to win, because we don't care. We got to take out that team.
Yeah, and then you look at it and they get circle full, right? It's just feeding right into their storyline. 8th on your screen, trying to finish off the squad just ahead of them, picking up some well-needed eliminations. Chinese, though, is going to have to hit that self-res for the teammate if they can, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get it. We're going to have wide swing here for the full wrap onto Team B-Mark. Maybe we can get a couple more eliminations, but across the way, it's just Lovey and Clutch Belk left. Their options are to keep your lines of sight open onto those 2 squads, maybe pick up some of those elims, but that rotate is going to have to go through straight onto Team OP Marked.
Yeah, Lovey and Clutch Belk have done a great job to make it to Final 5. 4 teams left. They have the 1.8. At this point, they're looking to grab a couple eliminations, potentially grab the win as well. But frankly, they needed this bad. They don't have a ton of kills. They're going to get punished. I figured they'd get wiped here by Reed Boy's team. I don't think any team even has a chance to contest OP Marked. Reed Boy is shaded. They're going to win this. All 3 alive. They've got zone pull. It's not close. But the fact that Clutch Belk's team was able to restabilize and at least make it to Final 5, get the 1.8 as B-Mark gets obliterated. Look, I think Clutch Belk's team did enough, but again, the flowers handed to the hat tip to OP Mark. Shaded step, Reed Boy. They had position. They held it down. They got here early. They got the kills. If anybody had a question of whether or not they were competing today, yes, they're competing, and yes, they are winning, and they might win it all today. Dominating the competition, just playing the game better. That's all it is, Tiff. Very well done. Quick look back on these final couple fights. Look at their position. There's little to no chance they ever get beat at this point.
No, and they're doing such a strong job here of holding out all of the squads, denying them any chance of rotational ability. And then on top of that, they get the circle pull. Now, you start focusing on 8th there across the way, looking to really go at terrorize and get picked. Maybe they grab enough eliminations and use that multiplier that we're about to go into, because right now there's still 6 squads, which makes it 1.6. But once we see that squad fall, you move into 1.8, which is great for B-Mark and J-Tech, because they held from that bizarre side of things, picked up a lot of eliminations, but we're sitting 3 deep on a hillside. Car 98s galore. This is why you could not push this squad. And something that's to be said here is that on the opposing side, Lovey and Clutch Belt, now they're really focusing on signing from Team 14 over there, just trying to get as many eliminations as they can. And despite them using smokes, doing what they can to cut off that line of sight, I don't know if they actually get that elimination. But even throughout this, one thing that Clutch Belt does is he's going to deny the squad OP marked Reed Boy and Shaded Step another elimination. He just hides out, goes out to gas, because you know if you give that to the winning team, it's essentially a 2-point elimination, because obviously the 2x multiplier is pretty fantastic. Plus this squad won map number 1.
Yeah, this is free and clear, and I gotta say, this looks like Duck Hunt, Tiff. All 3 with the Car 98. Car 98 supremacy. It wasn't close. Car 98 on top. No questions asked. When you have all 3 using the Car 98, you know it. Look at this, Tiff. We're showing it on main stage. Car 98 supreme. Shout out to Call of Duty. Look, I think a team like OP Marked, they get a lot of flack because, oh, you're win grinders, you don't get kills. When it comes to customs, they